Sometimes we forget why we're here. It's easy to fall off track. These help us remember.
Hi guys. So it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a Thursday, Valentine's, and I'm here doing my long bike session. It's about 2 hours today of just easy zone 2 cycling because I have just been recovering from an asthma attack from the cold season changes, the cold weather changes. Not very pretty, but we still gotta train. When your coach tells you to rest and recover and do a workout of your choice, you know, as long as it's any of the 3 for the weekend, he's fine. So he's okay with me going for a swim tomorrow if I want to do my bike today or whichever. So I chose to do my bike today, and tomorrow I'm gonna go for a swim. God's grace. That's the goal. So yeah, you know, for endurance athletes, ask any endurance athletes and they'll tell you big stories about how they do their self-talk, especially during a race, and especially if it is a big race, you know, for them. So it's one thing to do a self-talk when you're racing, and it's another doing self-talk while you're training. You have to know how to talk to yourself properly, especially when you're training, because it's in the training that you get to build all your endurance and your strength. So we just have to make sure that we know how to talk to ourselves. And personally, how I talk to myself, especially during these times that I am not able to train as much as I want and as much as I should, because, you know, an illness came up, or, you know, for women, your period comes up. So, you know, these things that are totally out of your control, but they happen to you. They happen, they may happen. So you gotta learn how to talk to yourself and, you know, get rid of cognitive distortions that limit you. So my personal way of talking to myself is just like as I am talking to a friend. I wouldn't say things to myself that I wouldn't say to friends or to other people for that matter. If I am as courteous and as mindful about how I talk to other people, then I should be more mindful and more courteous when I'm talking to myself. Then I consider myself to be my best friend, my own best friend, and talk to myself that way. So if you see that you're not performing very well, you know, on a given training day, or you feel like you're so sluggish and you don't want to move on a given day, and you're expected to do so, we would tend to have this performance anxiety and then beat ourselves up whenever we are not performing well. And then we get overwhelmed by guilt and overthinking, and then we think that we will not be able to make it, you know, we won't be able to do well in the race because we didn't do well in a certain given training. You give your best in your training. And your best is not measured against anyone's or someone else's best. Your best is your own. So you have to stop comparing yourself with how others perform. And that's gonna release all of those negative anxiety, performance anxieties that may spring up. And trust God, most especially, that know that your strength and your ability is not your own. It came from God, and He's got to be one of your reasons as to why you're doing this. you know what they say, when you're doing triathlons, you have to have a why. So my why is, I want to prove to myself that I can do something great endurance sports wise, even if I have a limitation in my asthma. And at the same time, I do want to be my best self for God, you know. He has given me this body. He has given me this opportunity, you know, the time that I have, the resources, everything that I have right now are all sort of working together so that I'm able to do triathlons. So if God has called you or equipped you to do something, whatever it is, make God as a reason for why you're doing what you're doing. So yeah, I'm gonna finish off this 2-hour bike before we go off on a Valentine's Day tonight. So suffer first, then party later. See ya, guys.
These help us remember